Okay, looks like a big show today, boys and girls. Maybe a little bit longer than normal. Sorry, I'll speak fast, like I don't speak fast enough. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the fiddling with the shirt yesterday. Thanks, Eula. You would notice that, wouldn't you? I just finished working out and I didn't realize it was so damn hot in here, so I couldn't get it undone, get some air. So thanks for pointing that out. I missed a couple of questions the day before. I don't know who this is, but because they have a acronym for a name. But JJ Reddick swears by the performance benefits of beets. And first of all, I had to Google who JJ Reddick is because I don't watch sports. So I found out he's a basketball player. Learn something new every day. I keep saying that. People find it funny that I don't watch sports, being an athlete my whole life, but I don't have time to watch. That's a long time. So anyway, he's absolutely right. There have been many studies on the benefits of beets in sports, mainly because of the release of nitric oxide, which relaxes the arteries, so you get more oxygen to the muscles, so you can last a little bit longer. So it's good for endurance and also some power stuff. But yes, you are absolutely right that beets are good. So you know what else is good for nitric oxide? Breathing. Did you know you release 6 times more nitric oxide by breathing through your nose than you do through your mouth? Your mouth releases no nitric oxide into your system, but your nose does. It's also good for anybody with high blood pressure, any cardiovascular problems. Just breathe more through your nose. It's free, people. Free. Okay. Moving on, because we've got a lot to do. What's got here? Paul. Again, Paul chimes in every day. I really appreciate it, Paul. You're doing well. 2 things. Number one, he says that thank goodness he's not a fan of tequila, but he is a fan of cider. Then he also said today that he's plateaued. So he's lost that 8 pounds and all of a sudden. It's only a day. Come on, Paul. You don't expect to do that every day. You're doing well, my friend. Cut out the cider. Actually, cider's not that bad, but still. If you want to get some serious gains, be strict for a while. Then you can reintroduce all this stuff. This is the hard part of the season anyway. So, try to keep the reins under control until Christmas. Everybody's going to go crazy at Christmas and New Year's. And then bring it back in come the new year. But it's not easy. I'll talk about that in a little while. And thanks to my brother for actually telling me how much Paul weighs. He did the conversion from stones to pounds. So at least somebody in my family's got some brains. I guess I could have Googled it anyway. Thanks, bro. Moving right along. What about that True Runner treadmill? Not a good buddy of mine. It's a treadmill. Sorry. It's marginally better, but just run outside. You'll burn way more by running on real surfaces and having a correct biomechanical use of your body. So yeah, everybody's looking for a shortcut, a pill, like, oh, this is better. Like, there are no shortcuts. This is not easy. And again, I'm going to touch on that in a little while. And I said yesterday, why should it be? If you don't do a little bit of work, stay fat. Okay. Moving right along. I'm just going through these real quick today because there's something I want to talk about. MCT oil. Don, my good friend. So MCTs are great. We talk about, especially the day of COVID. I just listened to another great podcast this morning. Most people are I don't want this to be a science lesson either. So most people are metabolically sick, metabolically inflexible. Most people we've learned because of marketing and corruption. I've talked about this before, of food companies to eat processed foods, raise our insulin, blood sugar levels, insulin levels, make us metabolically sick, and that's why we're having so much problems with with all these common ailments that we're having these days. But and again, I'm not saying that you will never be able to. You need sugar. The body needs sugar. I get it. Just not as much as we give it. When your when your sugar levels are up and your insulin's up, it just locks in fat. And the body actually prefers to burn fat most of the time. You only need sugar when you're running away from a tiger or something like that, when you need an instant release. Anybody run away from a tiger recently? I haven't. So other than that, the body's burning fat. Fat's way more efficient. It releases less free radicals in the body. So everybody's taking these antioxidants, which don't work either. That's another subject for another day. Because we're releasing so many free radicals in the body that damages the cell. Sugar is poison to blood. That's why we need insulin to get it out of the blood and into the cells. That's the whole point of it. But if it's in the blood, it causes all types of damage. So that's the reason you want to keep it low, and so you can utilize the fats, because it burns way more efficiently than sugar does and causes less damage in the body. So MCT oils is a great way to get into ketosis, and everybody's on the ketogenic diets now. Most people do it wrong. Surprise, surprise, because of the bad information we're getting from social media and from the media itself and from food companies and pharmaceutical companies. MCT oils, they're different types. So, don't go run out and, MCTs are great for you. Because, if you're not taking them right, and if you're still having a lot of sugar and a lot of fat, then you're causing even more damage. So there are different types of MCT. You don't want to get it from palm oil. There's two ways you get it: from coconut oil, palm oil. Palm oil is a little more destructive. It's not as good for you. And there are different levels of MCT from coconut as well. There's C8, C10, C12 are the main ones. You want C8. It costs more, but surprise, surprise, anything that's good costs a little more. The extraction process costs more, and it's like most things in life. You get what you pay for. So just don't go and just grab any off the shelf and say, why am I not losing weight? Because MCTs actually are great. If you're using the C8, great way to lose weight if you're doing it properly. Don't take too much. If you're not used to it, you will get an upset stomach. Okay, so word of warning. So Dawn, yeah, MCTs are good. Look for C8, costs a little bit more, worth it. Okay, flying through. Any more details, you can DM me direct, as you have been. What else? Okay. Question about creatine. The benefits for athletes. Creatine, yeah, it's known as bodybuilders use a lot to swell up their muscles, but it's actually good for everybody. It got great benefits for cognitive health for your brain. So again, you don't have to take, like a lot of people just keep piling it back. You actually only need about 5 grams a day, which is, you get creatine's relatively cheap, monohydrate only. And you only need, like I said, about 5 grams a day. If you get one of those canisters, it will last you forever, because it's best used split 2.5 grams twice a day is the best use of it. You don't have to load up like they say on the package. They just want to sell you more. So creatine is actually good for a lot more things than just athletes who want big muscles. So it's actually very healthy for you. Again, Paul, so he said he's at a little bit of a plateau. Maybe it's some hypertrophy. Maybe. I doubt you get too much in 10 days, Paul, but maybe a little bit. And you might go up and down. Like, nobody goes like this to the top. There's always hills and valleys. It's more body composition, how you feel, that's more important, because you'll notice your clothes fitting different. That's more important than actual weight, because yes, muscle does weigh more than fat. And again, probably in the beginning, when a lot of people start new programs, it's a lot of water weight as well. So you have to take that into account, but just keep plugging away. And like I said, if you want to accelerate it, although cider's not as bad, just stay away from alcohol altogether. Don't need it. Okay. What else? Well, that's it for the questions that I wanted to get to. So let's talk about how easy this thing is. Like, so most people start a diet or an exercise plan because their doctor tells them they're overweight, they're sick, they're on blood pressure medication or cholesterol medication. And they, when people come to me and I want to lose some weight, and they're like, well, I'm Italian, so I would, but I'm not going to stop bread or pasta. Well, sorry. It's not that you can't, it's you won't. All right, so it's up to you. I feel great most of the time. Okay, all of the time, I feel great. I got a question from my good friend, Mr. Ty Domi, yesterday. And so, as I've mentioned before, I work with his son Max. He was the one who introduced me to Max and wanted to work with him because Ty back in the day did a lot of track training. And actually, so for those of you who are not from this planet, or not from Canada at least, Ty is the enforcer. Like, do not mess with Ty. He had a book out last year or a couple of years ago. He's had like 333 fights, and I don't think he's ever lost a fight. He is one mean son of a... On the ice, but off the ice, he's a teddy bear. I love you, buddy. He's just such a nice guy. So he asked me, why am I not vegan anymore? Because when I met Ty, and well, I knew Ty for a while, but when I met Max, I was vegan. And he said, don't you dare put my kid on a vegan diet. I'm not putting anybody on anything. But Max wanted to try it for a few days. I think he lasted about 3, and he goes, I can't do this. I'm not doing this stuff. And I don't blame you. So in the last, I'm guessing last year when I was in Montreal with Max, his chef, M, shout out to you, M, great chef, started making these amazing cakes and donuts and cookies and stuff. And there was eggs in them. And I just, I had my moment of weakness. I'm like, what? Everything else Max is diabetic and he's celiac, so no gluten, no sugar, stuff like that. But there was eggs. I'm like, okay, one egg's not going to kill me. And I had one, and I was hooked. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to put eggs back in my diet because I'm not going to give up on these things. And also, I felt that with all the research I've done, and I know vegans are going to rebuke this, but to each his own. You got to do what you got to do. I wasn't getting enough DHA, which I think is really important. As you can see, my memory is not the best, but it's actually been getting a lot better in the last little while because DHA is good for the brain health. So I started doing fish again, but only small fish. So sardines, mackerel, anchovies, and salmon. So that's about all the fish I eat because it's cleaner. Being smaller fish get eaten by the bigger fish, and there's mercury in all fish. So you want to keep your mercury down to a minimum. And so people who eat tuna, and that's another reason why people have a hard time losing weight, because tuna is like the worst. That's like eating store-bought beef or chicken. Another issue people don't realize is, okay, so antibiotics are used 80% by animals. So all the antibiotics made by pharmaceutical companies are consumed by animals. Only 20% are actually used by, prescribed for humans. So if you're eating anything that is bought in a supermarket, you're eating antibiotics. So you're killing the good bacteria in your stomach. Okay? So you can eat as clean as you want with the chicken, like I said yesterday, and one guy yesterday, a good friend of mine I used to train a long time ago, says, it worked for me. Yeah, but you were like 20. When you're 20, anything's going to work. I used to eat gummy bears, bags of them, when I was 20. I'm paying for it now, but yeah, so all that store-bought beef, chicken, it's full of antibiotics. Not to mention, like I said yesterday, it's full of omega-6 fatty acids. So you're talking about substances that you think are clean that are destroying your gut and causing even more inflammation which is giving you more health problems and a harder time losing weight. That's enough for today. I think we covered a lot. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.